Studying is an essential part of nursing and NP school. Unfortunately, it's also something that usually immediately strikes dread straight into your soul when you hear the term. But honestly, guys, it doesn't have to. Studying is a skill, just like every other skill you have out there. Using chopsticks, riding a bicycle, taking notes. I have really weird examples of skills, but you get my point. Once you learn how to do it and you do it well, you can become efficient and effective at it, therefore making your studying time, one, a lot more condensed and shorter, and two, you're gonna get a lot more out of it. In this video, I'm gonna give you my studying tips on how to get A's in nursing and NP school with as little stress as possible. Welcome back, everybody. It's Liz. If you guys are brand new here, I'm a pediatric nurse. I just graduated from FNP school and I'm a recovering procrastinator, hoping to help you if you're a procrastinator as well. My YouTube channel is about just those things, so if you're into that, make sure to subscribe and hit the little bell below. And if all those years of school have taught me anything, it's a little bit on how to study. So let's jump right into it and see what kind of tips I have for you guys to be a better studier in nursing and NP school. Number one, utilize study apps and resources that are given to you. I resisted studying technology for so long, guys, because I am an old, cranky, inner grandma that refuses technology in any way. My husband is actually amazed that I'm able to make videos because he's like, you don't do technology. So guys, if I'm telling you embrace the technology, embrace the technology. It really is helpful. The first studying app tool that I cannot recommend enough, guys, is Picmonic. I use this in NP school to study for pharmacology and pathophysiology, and holy Hannah, I cannot say enough good things about this app, guys. I could not for the life of me keep straight all of the medicine we had to know, because they all sound the exact same thing, and then they want you to know all the side effects and which class is it in and what does it do and how does it act on this. And I was like, oh. I'm normally like a decent student, but I went into pharmacology in my first grade. I got like a B-, and you have to get like a medium B in the class overall. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I thought I knew this stuff. And a friend that I worked with, she was like, you have to look at this Picmonic thing that I've been doing in NP school. And I looked at it, and guys, I'll be real honest, I thought it was real weird. You watch this video and these characters, they told you a story, and she was like, and you watch it and it kind of explains a concept to you. And I was like, that's real weird. I don't think this is for me. And then the next day I was sitting there having like thoughts about the Fever Beaver and the Warfarin Fairy. And if you've ever done Picmonic, you know exactly what those are because they will also haunt your dreams. But guys, it worked. I literally couldn't get it out of my mind. Long story short, I signed up for like the free version thinking like, ooh, I'll do it for this week. And then I really liked it. So then I signed up for the year and I used it for patho and pharm, and my grades improved. I went from having like low B's to high A's, and I ended up with a good A in both of those classes. Literally probably because of that alone. So if you guys have never ever heard about Picmonic, let me just give you a really quick, brief rundown of this goodness. So Picmonic is an app. You can also run it on your web browser, and it uses pictures and repeating characters to tell you stories that teach you concepts in nursing and NP school. When you sign up for it, you can be like, hey, I'm a nurse, I'm in nursing school, or hey, I'm in NP school, and they have modules based on each one. I think the nursing one has like 900 and some different topics, and the NP one has like more than 1,200 or something crazy. And they have all the different topics that you go through in nursing and NP school. And they teach you the topics through these stories using these characters, and you remember it. It's like the weirdest thing, but I promise you guys, it works. So if you're in peds or OB, you go to the peds or OB part under the browser, or you go to pharmacology and you go to like antibiotics, and it'll just walk you through all of them. It has common textbooks on there, so if your textbook is a pretty common one, you could go in there and be like, hey, this is my textbook, and it'll be like, great. If you're learning chapter 18 this week, let's just go through chapter 18. And then at the end, it quizzes you on it. And that's another thing I loved about this. It does quiz repetition. So it gives you a quiz on what you just learned, and then you do daily quizzes, and then it'll throw you back one that you did like 2 weeks ago. So it like tries to bring it all back and make sure that you're keeping it all in your brain. And it's wonderful. So one really cool thing, I randomly commented on a video that Picmonic did, and then someone that worked there emailed me and was like, hey, so glad you like our product. And she had watched one of my videos, and she was like, I liked your video. I was like, hey, thanks. And she was like, do you want to give a coupon code to all your subscribers? I was like, yeah, I do, actually. So if you guys want to try Picmonic, go click on the link in the very top of the description box. You can sign up for Picmonic for free. You get one free like Picmonic module a day and then a quiz associated with it. Or if you sign up if you click that code down there, you're gonna get 20% off of a subscription for whatever you want. So I did a year when I signed up, and I didn't have a coupon code, so I think it was like $10 a month. which I was like, okay, that's like 1 Chipotle or 2 lattes. I think I can handle that for my grade going up this much, but this would be $8, guys. $8 a month. Are you kidding me? So, links down in the description below. I promise you, I cannot say enough good things about this. Go just try it for free. And you will also have dreams about this fever beaver and this warfarin fairy and this penicillin pencil thing. It sounds really weird. I know, I thought it was odd, but it sticks with you. Now I'm using it for my boards prep because they have one that goes in conjunction with my Fitzgerald review. And I just wanna say they have Picmonic for like all the different topics. So you could do it for like all your 4 years of nursing school, but I would absolutely like recommend it for when you're doing pharm and patho, like hardcore memorization, facts, do it. So I think it would be super helpful to just have it for all of them. The second app that I would highly recommend is Quizlet. So this is flashcards that you make on the computer or a tablet, and then they're online. I didn't know this existed, guys, until very, very recently, which is embarrassing. I used flashcards for straight memorization facts, like if I needed to know, you know, things where you just have to like sit there and grind and memorize like cranial nerves or something. I would make flashcards and then I would put them in the pile for like kinda know, don't really know, or whoa, I really don't know. Guys, now they have Quizlet, which is a free app. You can go on there, get it, and you do online flashcards. Flashcards are excellent for just straight up memorization stuff. So I would totally check that out if I were you. And you can search other people's who have already made them. If they made them public, you can use them. So if someone, you're like med-surg, you can search med-surg and there's a ton of people who are ahead of you. We're like, yeah, you can use my flashcards. Go for it, do it. All right, the second big tip I have for you would be just take a little bit of time every day or after you do a lecture, after you do whatever studying, note-taking you do, review those notes, go back in and highlight them. So I showed you in my how to take notes video, which I'll link up here, I went through, I showed you how I took notes, and then I said I don't really go in and highlight until afterwards. So this is what I do. I take notes, I go to the lecture, or I go and collect the information, and then I would sit down and go through with my highlighters and color code it. So like, all my vocab terms were in yellow, all my main headings in pink, all my corresponding like random other things were, you know, orange, blue. I've talked about that in my how I take notes on my iPad video, which I'll put up here. I would go through and do that after, and I would read through my notes. And that just helps. They say saying it, like doing it 3 times gets it through your head. So that would be my first review of it. 15 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, I would just kind of like flip through it and you are amazed at how much you retain from just that. That's also a really good time for if you're confused about something, that's when you go reference your book. You're not gonna read your whole book probably, let's be honest, but you could go and be like, I just don't get that. And that's when you either go look it up in your book, or I like to go look it up on YouTube. I type in like Khan Academy, this something crazy about patho, or something like that, where then you could watch a video on it and like actually be like, oh, okay, I get that now. All right, so you've reviewed your topic once by going back over and reading it once. Colored it all pretty, wrote down notes, you looked deeper, that's your first pass. This is time for your second pass, and this one's gonna sound real weird, but I'm just gonna need you to bear with me. I need you to teach this information to someone out loud. Okay, so now that you've reviewed it with your notes in front of you, you're gonna teach this information to your dog, your baby, your plant, whatever you have. You're gonna talk out loud and give lectures on it. So I want you to sit there and be like, penicillin, this is what you use it for. If you're allergic to it, this is it. Like, just talk it out in not just like reviewing your notes, like make a mini lecture about it, and you'll be amazed by just talking it out how much more you'll remember it. This is something that weird that I think I started talking like to myself in the shower one day about a topic because I just couldn't get it down and it stuck, and then I did this all the time. It's really weird, guys, but it really works. And I probably did this because none of my friends wanted to hear me. They were probably like, I really don't want to hear you talk about that. So, you know how they say like talk it over with a friend? Yeah, no one wanted to talk it over with me, surprisingly. You can be your own study buddy, guys. You got this. Leading into that, you could have a real study buddy if you want. For me, study buddies weren't all that great. I just tend to start talking off topic about certain things, and then we get distracted, and then we go get caffeine, which makes us talk more. And study buddies aren't very effective for me. It's good, I think, to have a reference, like a study buddy reference, where you can call them and be like, I still don't get this, and they can talk you through it, and you're like, thanks, okay, bye, I have to get off the phone before we start talking about boys again, bye. But you know what I mean. So, a study buddy, not for you. But if that is your thing and you know that, absolutely get a study buddy. Go for it. I guess we should have mentioned this being in the beginning. You need to establish your study sanctuary. So where do you study best? Go to where you study best, pop in your headphones, listen to your ambient noise or your classical music, whatever makes your brain happy and makes you calm and just focused. And set yourself up for success. You're not gonna be successful if you're in your living room with your TV remote in your hand and you're playing on your phone and you're your kid's watching Moana right there. You're just not gonna be successful, guys. So try to set up a time and a space where you're like, this is my study time. Again, like I said, even if it's 15 or 20 minutes a day, to just review those notes real quick and get that stuff stuck in your noggin. Repetition is key here. And the third way to get this information stuck in your head is go buy a boards review book. You don't need to be taking boards this year, but go buy a boards review book. They're usually under $50, even if you got one generation older. The information is probably up to date enough that it's going to be super helpful. And what you're gonna do is say you're going over and you're doing COPD. Go to your respiratory section in this review book and look at the COPD stuff. See what it says. It's gonna be a great review of the topic. And then it's gonna ask you questions, which are really gonna do that third round of like cementing that information in your head and read the rationales. I wish so much I had started doing this earlier in NP school, which you would have thought I learned because in nursing school, when I was studying for the NCLEX, I was like, I should have bought this in Med-Surg 1. But of course, I totally forgot about that by the time I went back to school. So nursing school or NP school, buy the study book for your boards and use that while you're in school. Even if you have to buy another one later on, like by the time you really graduate, it'll be so worth it. One of my friends in school did this and she was definitely way more prepared for all the exams than the rest of us. We really were slow at catching on. So that brings around like the 3 reviews. So the initial review when you go over it, the second is teaching your lecture out loud to your friendly home fern. And your third one is going over in a book or some other resource where you're gonna like quiz yourself. Also, this would be a good place to put in, like if you're doing Picmonic, then go over everything and be like, okay, now I really get it, and it'll quiz you. And my last tip would just be avoid procrastination. Guys, I am the worst procrastinator. I used to wait all the time until the night before, and I just got super stressed. And finally, partway through NP school, I realized like, hold up, like I can just start studying slowly and smart, and I don't really have to like pile it up all at the end, and it's way less stressful. Like, hello. So you really will absorb a lot more if you just kind of go chunk by chunk, 20 minutes a day. I promise you, 20 minutes a day. That's all you have to do. Then the day before the test, you're not sitting there ripping all your hair out, wanting to just go hide under your couch in a ball. You're just kind of sitting there like, I'm just gonna review one more time, look at things I don't really understand, and then, watch YouTube or Netflix or something and relax and get a good night's sleep, which will also make you do better on your test. So guys, I think that's most of my tips for how to study and succeed with your studying in nursing and NP school. If you haven't already, make sure to go check out my videos on taking notes and how I take notes on my iPad that are all kind of linked in this studying series. Again, just go check out Picmonic. See if those things get stuck in your head, just like they got stuck in my head. If you go click on the link in my bio, it'll take you right there. Just think, less than a Chipotle a month, and it's so worth it. If you guys want to see more videos about nursing or what it's like to be searching for a job as a nurse practitioner and you're new, make sure to subscribe down below, hit that bell, and join me on Instagram to watch my adventure. I would absolutely love to have you part of my little community. And the question of the day is, what is your study space like? Like, where do you like to study? Do you like to go to Starbucks and listen to other people and eavesdrop on conversations while you're focusing? Do you like to go to the library? I don't like the library. It creeps me out. I don't know why, I just can't. I'm like on edge. Or do you like to study at home, in your jammies, in your room? This is my favorite study space. So this is like my guest room / there's a desk on the wall, and I like to light my little candle, like I said before. I'm weird, and I just like to put on ambient noise, like a waterfall, something like to kind of drone out the weird snortly noises my daughter makes, and just be zen. It's a very like light, calm room. So this is my space. This is where I study the best, alone with the door shut. So let me know down in the comments below, where do you study your best? And have a great week, guys. I will see you next time. Bye.